Hi everyone, this is a really quick update from my challenge. Obviously things at the moment are quite difficult. I've just posted an early April and just said that I'm going to start posting a little bit more regularly with this because I think a lot of people are busy stitching. So the next bit that I've just done is I have attached another section. So if I turn that over there, I stitched another piece onto the end because I was running out of space, and I've started probably going back to January and the challenge there, just adding pieces. So I've got a few more pieces just to give me a little bit more room, because the piece that I've done so far, it's absolutely full and I hadn't got any more space. So the last challenge was adding buttons and other bits, and I know a few people really liked my little safety pins. So I've got some little brass ones here. They're just some little things when you're out and about and you see things that are little and you think, oh, that's cute, and you just have to buy it and pop it in your stash because you never know when you're going to need it. Well, those are the things that I'm busy trying to use at the moment. So just a really quick update this weekend, ready before I do the next thing, which is the next challenge that I'm going to post early. So we're actually on to May, but I'll be posting it before April, I think. Just because I think people are really getting into this, and the situation where we are at the moment with everything is just a little bit dire, and some people self-isolating, might be self-isolating now, possibly going to be doing it in a little bit in the future. So I just think it's nice to have something just to go to give you a little bit of an escape. So the next bit that I've done, which you might feel you want to do, is add a little bit more. I know some of the pieces that I've seen, people have done 2, which is amazing. They've run out of space, they're starting another one. So it's fantastic to see what everybody's doing. It would be lovely to keep seeing them on Instagram if you can hashtag it. So hashtag Sew for the Soul HanneMADE. And we're sort of building a little community. And I think with the situation, the way the world is at the moment, community seems to be everything. So just sharing what everybody's doing. I think it's so nice to see the little bits of work that everybody's doing and how everybody's interpreting this challenge very differently. So my piece is getting ridiculously long now, but I am really enjoying it. These are the little black safety pins that I found. So you can start adding anything really to your piece. You don't have to just follow the challenges as I've been setting it. You can add, as people have been doing, any little bits that you want to, or you can follow. If you want to join in with us where we are now, if you go onto or look on some of the previous YouTube clips, you can catch up with everything that's going on. If you don't have a stash, a few people have asked me about different types of fabrics and things like that. So I've done some little mini kits in my shop. It's a red, yellow and blue colourway that I've done. If people want particular colourways, I can always look at putting some kits together. So if you want to message me with your favourite colour combinations, if I've got bits of fabric that'll match and I can look at, I'm possibly going to do a yellow and grey one. So a little bit like mine with some of the fabrics that I've been using. I might do a slight limited edition kit that has similar colours to this. But hopefully once you've added some new bits, you'll be ready for the next challenge. So you need a section where you've just done a little bit of stitching. So I've put a few bullion knots on, a few straight stitching, but I've left a nice gap because we're going to be looking at a new technique next weekend, which I will get online possibly Saturday or Sunday, and I will post on Instagram and Facebook just to let you know that it's ready to go. Please keep safe everybody, and I hope you're all well, and I will speak soon. Lots of love. Bye, Anne. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful sunny day today, so I've decided to carry on and move on to the next stage of the challenge. So hopefully you've got a new bit of fabric, and you might have noticed I've already started attaching my next bit. So we're going to be looking at paper piecing and looking at a little bit of patchwork. I'm not really a patchworker or a quilter or anything like that, but I do love these little hexagons, sorry. They do remind me a little bit of like adding stuff at puffs, which I've been getting a little bit of an obsession of collecting those as well. So we're going to be looking at paper piecing. So what you're going to need are some little hexagonal bits of paper. I've just done them out of just photocopy paper, and some of your thinner fabrics from your stash. And what you're going to need to do is, once you've cut out your piece of paper, is just pop it onto the fabric and trim it, slightly bigger hexagon. And then we're going to do a little bit of finger pressing, and just using a thread, cotton thread, we are going to just tack the edges down. So if you fold the edge in, okay, and you're just going to run just a tacking stitch, really big straight stitches, just turn it around, just press that corner over as well, attach that one down. So these big tacking stitches that you're doing, eventually you will remove them, so they don't need to be neat, they just need to be big, so that when it comes to removing them, it just makes the life that little bit easier. This is another one of those jobs, a little bit like the Suffolk puffs, that you can sit and do on an evening, make quite a few of them, end up with a little stash, and then you've got them ready to use. Like I've said before, I'm adding these onto the end of my piece, so where I've just added that extra bit of fabric that I mentioned in the last video, I am adding these on there, but there's no reason why you can't mix in a Suffolk puff. You could put these earlier in your piece. And I'm absolutely loving, like I say every time on the videos, loving seeing what everybody's doing. I feel like we're getting a real little community going on at the moment. So if you are joining in, that would be fantastic. I'd love to know where people are from. I'm assuming the majority of people are possibly in the UK, but on Instagram you never quite know what's going on with everything. So once you've gone all the way around, just fasten that thread off. And like I say, you can make as many of these as you want, loads of different colours to match in. So I've got my piece of paper in the middle, stitching there just on the outside. Hopefully you can see all this. The sun is absolutely gorgeous, so I don't really want to shut the blind because it just makes you feel so much better when the sunshine comes in. So once you've got this little collection of pieces together, you can start making bigger bits. So just to stitch them together, we just put right sides together, and then you just do really, really tiny little stitches just here, just to catch the edges of the pieces. So then when you've done that, you end up with pieces like this one here, or I've got a 3 that I've got there, and then here I've got a slightly bigger piece. Now I've done it so that it fits around some of these bits. So when I'd shown you my piece last time and I said I'd got my bullion knots, I'd actually laid this on and worked out where they needed to go so that the hexagons just fitted through. But what's quite nice is if you make these as little singular ones and then stitch them on, but leave little gaps. So I've got the edge of that piece there, leave a little gap so that you can see a bit of the fabric through. Just pin it on just to hold it in place, and then really you're just going to use the smallest of stitches just to go around and just stitch it onto the edge. And like I say, because you've got all these fabrics here, even where you haven't got a little hexagon, you get to see the fabrics through. Then you can start going to town again with all the different bits. So you could decide to come and add in, I don't know, a Suffolk puff in there. It could be that you want to add some buttons or some little safety pins, anything at all. You can just keep going. So this is just the section that I added on because I was running out of fabric. So I'm going to carry on working on this section here. Not decided yet where we're going with this. It is sort of evolving as we're going on. I think we're going to go back into doing some more additions as we go along. And I've started now just playing around with my stitching. So if I try and get a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better. Just here, I started still using my straight stitch, but I'm starting to fill shapes in. And one of my friends, Jane, I saw her doing this on one of her pieces where she'd put a button in the middle and then did the pistol stitch on the outside, which I think is really, really effective. So I hope you don't mind, Jane, that when I've seen you doing that, I absolutely loved it. So I did pinch it. Love just using the straight stitch just to create like some little flower sort of star shapes, filling those in again, adding the buttons. So the buttons and bits and pieces, if you have a look at one of my previous videos, I am having a giveaway on the 1st of April. A little stash on my YouTube, my Instagram and my Facebook. So you've got 3 chances of winning if you want to go and have a look, and I'll announce that on the 1st of April. But I've got you up to speed now, hopefully with enough stuff to keep you going through April. So we were adding buttons and bits and pieces, adding a little bit more fabric, and then looking at paper piecing and just beginning to add some other little shapes on. So I hope you stay well, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Love and hugs, Anne.